a half-second glance that lands somewhere else, a voice that wobbles for just a syllable, a smile that shows up a beat too late. Most people walk past these things without ever registering them. You don't. You catch every single one, and your brain doesn't let it go. People call this a gift. They call it intuition, emotional intelligence, being so perceptive. But psychology tells a very different story, one that most people carrying this trait never fully see until it's already cost them their peace. What looks like a superpower from the outside is quietly wearing you down from the inside. Today, we're breaking down why your brain refuses to stop scanning, and more importantly, how to finally put the weight down. To understand why you can't just switch this off, you need to understand where it comes from. This isn't overthinking, it's architecture. Your brain was built this way, and it falls into one of two categories. The first is what we can call the mismatch detector. In these brains, the reticular activating system, the part responsible for filtering what deserves your attention, is wired to hunt for incongruence. And to be clear, this isn't a disorder. Research in evolutionary neuroscience suggests roughly 15 to 20% of people are born with this heightened sensitivity to inconsistency. 1 in 5 brains works exactly like yours. It's not searching for happiness in a room, it's searching for the gap between what someone shows you and what they actually feel. Someone says, "I'm so glad you're here," and in a fraction of a second, your brain has already clocked the stiffness around their eyes and the breath they held back. An alert fires immediately. Why the disconnect? And just like that, you're pulled into solving a puzzle nobody else even noticed existed. The second category runs deeper, and it's far more painful. Clinical psychology calls it parentification, when a child is forced into the emotional role of the adult in their own household. These are people who grew up reading the room not out of curiosity, but out of necessity. They scanned their mother's mood each morning to know whether to soften the house or brace for it. They watched their father's face to catch the warning signs before an argument erupted. That child didn't get to be careless. They became the emotional regulator for an entire family, and that radar never turned off, even decades later, even in rooms that pose no threat at all. When a brain runs on this much intake, it produces patterns you might not even recognize as unusual anymore, because you've never known anything else. You experience conversations like watching a film where the subtitles arrive before anyone speaks. You ask a friend to hang out, and before they answer, you've already read the tightening in their shoulders, the eyes that flick away, the pause that's just slightly too long. You know the answer is no before they've said a single word, but you're not allowed to skip ahead. You have to stand there and let them finish the polite excuse while you nod along, pretending you already knew. You absorb emotional secondhand smoke. A silent elevator ride with 2 strangers leaves you drained, not because anything happened, but because you picked up the tension neither of them said out loud. You leave the elevator carrying weight that was never yours. You become the canary that nobody believes. You sense the friendship that's about to collapse, the charm that's covering something manipulative, and you speak up. And when nothing's happened yet, when there's no proof, people call you paranoid, dramatic, jealous. Then months later, when it all falls apart exactly the way you said it would, no one remembers you tried to warn them. You shapeshift constantly, softening around people who need calm, brightening around people who need energy, rewriting a single text message 5 times so it can't possibly be misread. And at night, alone, you ask yourself what you'd even sound like if no one else were in the room. And then comes the crash. A completely normal, drama-free hangout leaves you sitting in the dark the moment you get home, unable to move, unable to explain why you feel emptied out. You're not sad. Your brain is simply purging the thousands of microsignals it recorded all day. Here's the truth underneath all of it. You're not lonely because you're alone. You're lonely because you spend your life reading everyone else fluently, while almost no one has ever bothered to read you. So what actually helps? You can't turn this ability off, and you shouldn't try. What you can change is what you do with what you notice. Start here. When you clock someone's mood, let the observations stop at awareness. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to smooth it over. People are allowed to have a bad day without you rescuing them from it. And second, accept that seeing a risk early doesn't make you responsible for preventing it. You can warn someone once. What they do after that is no longer yours to carry. This shift doesn't happen overnight, but it changes everything. Your radar doesn't disappear, it just stops running you into the ground. You become someone who notices deeply without being consumed by it. Someone people feel safe around, not because you fix everything, but because near you, they don't have to pretend. You don't notice too much, you just feel the world at a resolution most people never learn to see. Don't apologize for that. Just learn, finally, to put some of it down.